All right. Hello and welcome to the first episode of Coffee and Coding, coming over to YouTube because, well, I used to do it on Spotify and then I stopped for a while. Basically, we're just going to talk about whatever I want to, pretty much, for the podcast, just to give you guys a little bit extra to sink your teeth into if you like. I yap a lot. You don't see that in my videos, actually, very often because, well, I try to keep those as short and sweet as possible, but I do actually tend to talk quite a lot about a lot of different things because I have ADHD and I have a lot of fun doing so. So we are just basically going to start off this episode with a couple simple things that we are going to talk about. So got a brief outline. I don't really write scripts for this type of shit. I just kind of like put an outline and then just kind of ramble about it basically. So we're going to talk about number one, why I stopped uploading in the first place, future plans for updates for Stake Defense, AI in game development. I know everybody's been talking about AI for like the past 2 years now, but I feel like, nobody really talks about it like in game development, like in the way that I'm going to, so we'll get into that. State of the gaming industry at the moment and my current disinterest in it, really. So let's just get straight into it. So why I stopped uploading in the first place. So there's a lot that goes into it, right? I think I did respond to one person's comment, kind of just being like, life gets in the way, shit happens, and so I just ended up not uploading. And yes, while that is, relatively true, there's also a lot of other stuff that goes into it. Obviously, personal life, there's a lot of things that happens there, and I'm not exactly comfortable on the first episode of doing this, really getting into my personal life, at least that much. But, I think the most recent video I uploaded, before the one where, I finally came back after like 6 months, I think that one I did express that I did end up moving states, right? So that was kind of a big benefactor in why I kind of stopped uploading, right? Because obviously, if you've ever moved states, like at all, number one, I mean, moving in general is stressful, let alone moving states, right? I moved from Florida up to Pennsylvania, and that was incredibly stressful trying to figure all that out, and especially due to the fact that I decided to be quite a bit of a fucking idiot, to say the least, and just kind of ended up moving up way faster than I should have, and I didn't really have much of a game plan, I guess you could say. I didn't really have one, and I moved up here, I got a place, I was bouncing back and forth for months between jobs trying to find something that would stick. I was getting really stressed out, I was getting really, really down, and no offense to, anybody or anything, but, I just, uploading and working on my game kind of became a last priority, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I do live in America, so money is everything. I need to make money to be able to live, and if I can't make money, which I don't make money off of anything I do here, it kind of has to fall to the wayside a little bit, unfortunately. Not saying that I don't, enjoy the support. I absolutely do. I love doing this just in general. Obviously, making money from it would be pretty cool, but I'd never want it to be a entire lifestyle change to where this is what I do. I don't think I could ever do that. I'm somebody who likes to always stay busy, and if I'm not leaving my apartment, you know what I mean, then I procrastinate quite a bit. I mean, hell, this episode for Coffee and Coding, I actually wanted to come out earlier in the day, but once again, it's currently a weekend. I'm not working. I'm at home, and I procrastinated. And now here we are, uploading it a little bit later than I intended to. So that's also another big thing is that I do tend to procrastinate quite a lot because, I'll just touch on it pretty briefly, but one of the reasons I procrastinate so much is because basically I put so much pressure on myself to do so many things in such a short span of time, especially in, me working on my game and everything like that, where I'm so laser focused on getting it done and what I want to implement into it that when stuff starts to go off the rails a little bit or updates don't really the update I'm making, I guess per se, isn't exactly going as planned, I start to get really frustrated, and then I'm like, all right, well, fuck it, I'm done for right now. And then I just don't go back to working on it for a little bit because I put myself under so much pressure. Basically it's just a cycle of hey, you need to get this done, you need to get this done, you need to get this done. And then I worry about it so much to that I feel like I have way more on my plate than I should. and then I, you know, kind of just give up, like, in a sense where I'm like, well, fuck it, if I have so much to do, like, fuck it, I'm just not gonna do anything. And then I sit there and I feel like shit because I'm like, oh my god, I'm not being productive, I'm not doing anything, I'm being such a lazy piece of shit. So then I force myself to get up and do something, and then I hate it, I get bored, I get burnt out, and then I procrastinate more, and you know, and it turns into a cycle. And you know, I'm working on it. I really am, because at the end of the day, like, I do enjoy making YouTube videos. I do enjoy, you know, working on my games and stuff like that. I genuinely do. So I'm really trying to work on that. Also, you know, I'm just putting myself under so much unnecessary stress that I do not need, you know. So, but you know, simply put, I stopped uploading because I moved states. I had a lot going on. I you know, procrastinated a little bit more than I probably should have. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, life happens. You know, I had to end up getting a job. I was bouncing between jobs for a little while until I landed one. So unfortunately, this did have to fall to the wayside. And I put myself under way too much pressure than I should. Basically put, you know, and eventually that causes me to burn out and not want to do it anymore. And you know, I will say, to sum up, to be fair, like, I did kind of fall out of love out of doing it for a little while. I don't know why that happened. I really couldn't tell you. But it did unfortunately happen at a certain point. But luckily, I am back now. I don't plan on stopping uploading anytime soon. I might procrastinate every here and there. Yes, obviously, like I said, I wanted this episode to come out earlier than it is, but I'm still doing it nonetheless because I do actually enjoy doing it. I'm actually having a lot of fun just kind of talking about nonsense right now, honestly. So, yeah. Anyway, to sum it up, that's pretty much why I stopped uploading. But hey, like I said, I'm back. I don't plan on going away anytime soon. The only way that I will stop is if I end up fucking dying. And if I do stop, I'll be letting you guys know that I'm taking a break or something like that, right? So, anyway, regardless, let's get on to my future plans, right? So I did mention in my most recent video that here is where I kind of would be talking about my progress and my future plans in the downtime between videos and stuff like that. So some of my biggest future plans for Stake Defense Worlds Away in particular is that, number one, I do want to add a kind of like weapon progression system, and by that basically I mean, like, pretty simply put, like weapon camos, right? So like having an incentive to use different guns and stuff like that, or not even as much of an incentive, more of just like a reward for doing it, right? Because like obviously, yeah, you need, like, for my game in particular, I feel like I do need a progression system. However, at the same time, like, I do feel like there's not enough yet, you know what I mean? Like, simple levels, yeah, sure. Completing quests to get quest rewards. Not necessarily a progression system, more of a reward system there. But also, just on top of that, you know, like, just grinding out, like, weapon camos, you know what I mean? Just for, like, a little cool thing, or, like, a different, like, weapon redesign and stuff like that. Like I said, like, I have recently really been taking emphasis and putting pressure on myself to really do good when it comes to animations and like designs of like characters and like movement and guns in the game and everything like that. So I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to do better at that recently, and I think I have been doing a bit of a better job. But also, you know, adding some like either weapon redesigns or some camos for, you know, using them for, you know, for some time and getting, you know, XP for them and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be a pretty cool thing. So I think that's kind of what my next one's going to be about. The next one is going to be like kind of focused on that. Obviously, we're going to be adding more rewards in general for the regular thing. I think we are going to cap out the like leveling system at like anywhere between like 50 and 75 and something like that, most likely. And then kind of just pile drive and focus more on like gameplay innovation and stuff like that. Mostly, but so that's kind of my idea for the next most recent update is going to be like, you know, number one, getting more rewards into the game. Number two, adding a completely different type of progression system for weapons and giving some rewards for them as well. And then, you know, I know I mentioned in the video where like I'm kind of like I do want to I do want to add like rewards for playing the hardcore quests and completing those as well, but at the same time, like, I'm kind of on like, you know, I'm sitting on the fence about it because like when it comes down to like, do I want to put more time into making these rewards for people who might not even do them, or, you know, should I kind of do more rewards for the base game itself for people who don't want to do this type of quest. Not that the quests are hard or anything. Now, obviously, hardcore, they do make them more difficult. And, I know that there is something to be said, like, you need to reward your most hardcore players and everything like that. Not that I really have any players. No offense to anybody who does play my games. I appreciate it. I'm just saying I don't really have a lot. So, it's kind of tit for tat, right? I gotta pick and choose my battles and stuff like that, obviously. And then obviously, on top of that, just more levels and stuff like that. I've got a really good idea for the next one I want to do. I don't really know if I'm going to talk about it in this video, this episode. But I've got a pretty good idea for it. And that's kind of where we're sitting at right now. Obviously, there is a lot of things that I want to add to the game, like longer quests, better maps, and just kind of everything. Obviously, I want to add more polish to it as well, like walking sound effects. I don't know why I still haven't done that yet. Like I said, I procrastinate sometimes, so I just still haven't done it for some fucking reason. And kind of simple things like that, like a reload sound effect, kind of shit like that, and just taking more time to kind of like put polish into the game, because like I said, like I'm so like focused on the end product that I'm not really sitting there thinking about the little things sometimes. And so more polish, better maps and stuff like that. Obviously, I know I did say about like Stake Defense Stake Defense Worlds Away, where like it was going to be a bigger and better version of Stake Defense Worlds Away. And I think right now where it's currently at, it actually is, right? Because like I actually went back and watched some of my older videos. Number one, I'm way happier with how I talk now. Like I don't sound like I'm scared to like get in front of the mic or something like that, obviously. But also on top of that, like, it is bigger, it is better, there's a lot more to do and stuff like that. So like I am like happy with where it currently is compared to the prior game and everything like that. However, like I want to go bigger, and I still want to go better, right? So like that's kind of where we're looking, more polish, just kind of more rewards, more things to do and everything like that. And then obviously better maps and just better everything. That's kind of where we're sitting at. And in game development, like you can't really sit there and be like, oh, I want it to be better, better than the last time and everything like that, because then you're setting yourself up for disappointment, obviously. However, like at the same time, I really don't give a shit, because that's just who I am, and I want to do better than I did last time. Simply put, right? Simply put. So, but moving into AI and game development now. So I want to touch on a specific subject here, right? Where obviously, like AI is now going to be in game development, right? It's never going to go away, unfortunately. And now, personally, I'm never gonna touch it. I don't like it. I hate the fact that like some people see themselves as, oh, I'm a game developer, when all they're doing is typing some shit into like Chat GPT and it's making a game for them, and they're like, oh, I'm a game developer. It's like, no, like, listen, right? Like I'm not here to shame anybody. Like I don't want to do that. However, like that's bullshit, right? You're not a game developer, right? Because at the end of the day, like you're not actually doing anything. All you're doing is typing in a prompt. That's all you're doing, right? And to be fair, right, there is something to be said about like, it is sort of similar to making games in a way, because like technically all I'm doing is putting in code, telling like the engine itself and certain things like, hey, I want you to do this when this is pressed. So like I could see that side of the argument. However, at least I'm still doing it and a computer isn't. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And it frustrates me when, like, recently I've been seeing all these, like, videos, and they've been out for a while. Like, these are just now popping up on my For You, right, and stuff like that. So, I've been seeing a lot of people, like, kind of using, like, Gemini or whatever the fuck, and, like, other shit, kind of, like, just typing in prompts, being like, oh, let's make Call of Duty in fucking ChatGPT or some shit, right? And it's like, yes, those are cool for videos, but then I've also heard these people say, if I can do it and get it to you guys, for you guys to play legally, then I'll do that. And it's like, okay, that's where I start to take issue, right? It's good for one-off videos and stuff like that to be like, and I'll be frank, I do find those interesting. However, no, like, don't fucking give them to people. Like, that should not be allowed, right? Because that is quite literally just a hodgepodge and plagiarism of anything that the computer is aware of that exists, right? And like, I personally take issue with that, right? And like, listen, right? And here's another thing, right? Like I said, I'm never gonna use AI in my game development, like, at all, because I think, just flat out, like, I don't know. I don't think it's fun, man. Like, Yes, game development is, and mind you, this is coming from an indie person too. Like, this is coming from somebody who like is a singular person making, games that are, understandably easier for me to make, at least in this moment. I will say I do plan on making something else after State Defense World's Away is over. However, we're not going to get into that today, right? That's quite a while. We're probably not even talking to like first quarter, maybe second quarter of next year before I start working on that. So anyway, it's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, you're not doing anything. Like, game development is fun and it is frustrating, and I understand why people want to use AI to do it, to make it easier. But there's a difference between making it easier and just straight up making the AI do everything for you. Like I stated as an example with those people making videos about it, like, you're not making the game. You're not doing anything. You are sitting there typing in a prompt saying, hey, fix this, hey, fix this, hey, fix this. And while it is frustrating to, see a bug appear and you have to go back into all of your code and try and figure out what is going wrong, the moment you fix it, that's when that euphoria kicks in, like, oh my god, like, I fixed that. And obviously, like, yes, over time, this is something that you just do, and it's, natural to you at this point, but, like, it's just, there's so much happiness that comes from something that you spent so much time making, compared to if you just, shot it into a fucking glorified search engine saying, hey, make this. You know what I mean? And, like, listen, right? I do understand that there are some people who just want to watch the world burn, and they don't give a shit about, like, obviously that's an exaggeration, but they don't care about, like, that euphoria and that happiness of creating something. They just care about the end product and the fact that they can make something. Well, not even they can make something, but something can come out of them typing into a fucking prompt, and then they can sell it for fucking money or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, like I said, I understand that there's some people in this world who don't care about the fact that they can make something and, like, spend time to make something and be proud of that product and everything like that. Like, I do understand that, but at the end of the day, like, my opinion is, like, don't sit here and try and act like you're a game developer because you typed it into ChatGPT. Like, listen, if you want to do it for YouTube videos or just some dumb shit for, like, you to play in your free time, like, oh, fucking, I just had ChatGPT make this dumbass game just for me to play in my free time, like, okay, cool, that's fine, right? But the moment you start trying to export it and have other people download it, or hell, even sell it, that's when I take issue, because it's like, you're not doing anything. You do not deserve that, right? And, like, that's just not how things should be. And in my opinion, like, when it comes to, like, anything like Steam, or I've seen recently that the PlayStation Store has been completely fucking overtaken by, like, AI video games and stuff like that. Or even itch.io. Like, I feel, now obviously I don't know itch.io's policies or anything like that. I know that Steam has, you need to disclose if your game uses AI in its development, but and I don't know itch.io's thing, if they have, like, any systems in place that are like, you need to disclose, or, like, hell, even AI video games are not allowed on this platform. Personally, in my opinion, I think that AI video games should not be allowed on any platform, at least not for sale. For free? Sure, whatever. Not for sale. By no means should they be made for fucking sale. That person did absolutely nothing but type some shit into a fucking search engine, telling it to fix the problems that it was creating, and to make this, and to make that, and to make this, and no. If they did not do it by themselves, or in a team of people, and they used AI to do all of that shit, no, they should never, ever, ever, ever be for sale at all. Never. Because they did not create that. They did not use their creativity to create that. Because, as everybody knows, AI is not able to come up with anything on its own. It is a hodgepodge of everything that it has read and everything that it knows. So it is nonstop, always complete plagiarism. Always, right? So that is my stance on that type of stuff. And I wanted to talk about that because there's a difference between using AI for game development and using AI to help you with certain things, right? Now, personally, like I said, I'm not going to use AI in any sense because I feel like there is no joy in that. However, I will say, like, for example, I know that GDevelop does have some sort of AI tool now that you can ask, I think, to, like, hey, this is occurring, this is occurring, this is occurring, and this is occurring in my game, and this is a problem, I don't want it to be this way, and you can, ask the AI within the system to be like, hey, Do you know, or can you tell me what steps I could take to troubleshoot and figure out what's going wrong? Listen, right? And I do understand that not everybody knows how to troubleshoot. Not everybody knows, how issues even occur or anything like that. And especially when you have a bunch of code. And for example, with Stake Defense, the original one, I didn't have any of it sorted into any groups. So I would basically have to just skim through so much fucking unsorted code to be able to figure out what the issue was. Now that I have my code sorted, by specific functions and like, okay, this is what the player character does, this is what the enemies do, all that type of shit, right? Now I can understand where my bug comes from, and I can just be like, okay, well, if the player character is doing something wrong, it's probably within this section, right? So I understand that troubleshooting can be very difficult, and even when you do it, you might not be able to find the bug, or it might not even replicate all the time, right? So I do personally understand that. And that's a whole different topic, right? Like, if you want to use AI to be like, hey, like, I've been doing this and this is occurring, there's a bug happening, here's what the code looks like, can you tell me what might be going wrong or what within the code is not proper that might be leading to this action? I can see that. Do I agree with it? Not personally, because I think, you're the one who made the code. Maybe if you pay attention a little bit better and sort it a little bit better, maybe you'd be able to figure out what is going wrong. However, I do see that side of things, right? So there's a difference between like AI completely making a game and AI, helping with certain things. Like, like I said, for example, when it comes to that specific stuff, right? Like, figuring out what's going wrong within the code. But it has to be the code that you created, not the code that the AI created. You didn't do anything, okay? You know what I mean? Like that type of shit. And then obviously AI art, load of bullshit, right? If you do not have the skills to create art for your game, pay somebody to do it. If you do not want to pay somebody to do it, don't make a fucking game. No offense. Like, seriously. Like, it's just, and this has been talked about forever. AI art, like, especially in game development, man. Like, come on. Especially the big game studios, like fucking Call of Duty and shit. I know I'm gonna talk about them later. Like, Call of Duty and shit. Like, come on, man. You guys are fucking what? A multi-million, probably billion-dollar, you're backed by a billion-dollar publisher and shit. And now, to be fair, I know that Activision is forcing them to do this type of stuff. But, like, I guess even on that front, Activision, what the fuck are you doing? Like, seriously. And I know, greedy corporation, all you care about is money. You don't care about the well-being of your employees. I know. But, like, seriously, man, there needs to be shit put in place about this because this is starting to get fucking ridiculous. Like, the fact that's even a problem. But, like, even at that, right? As a indie developer, I do understand that making art, especially if you're not good at it, can be a lot more difficult. However, if you're not good at it, pay somebody to do it. If you can't pay somebody to do it, like me, I cannot pay anybody to make art. Who gives a shit if the art's bad or not? Just do it anyway. You'll get better at it over time. You know what I mean? Like, so, I don't know, man. That's just kind of my stance on it. Like, AI, it should never be used in aid of game development. It should never be used for art, for assets, for writing code, or even creating a game in general, especially from the ground up with those fucking AI fucking game engine shit that you can just type in a prompt into AI telling you to make it telling it to make a video game and shit. But regardless, that's my stance on that type of stuff. I just wanted to talk about that because I don't feel like anybody's really talked about that much. Like, they've talked about like AI art and all that type of shit, but not like that full type of stuff. But regardless, we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna talk about the state of the game industry right now is in a really bad spot. At least for like AAA games. And I know people talk about this all the time, so I won't stick on it for too long, but like, it's in a really bad spot right now. And it's really difficult because like, obviously, making video games is a passion that I got from not only from watching people do it, but also from video games in general. I like playing video games. I do it in my free time and everything like that. So it has been really difficult being somebody in this space, like kind of watching the industry that it spawned from kind of like fall apart in a sense, or at least in the AAA gaming space. Now, personally, I would never want to be in the AAA gaming space. That would suck balls. I already don't like, being bossed around and everything like that. I like being my own boss. I like doing my own thing and everything like that. So, like, I wouldn't want to be in that space anyway. But, like, from somebody who grew up playing, fucking Call of Duty and, fucking... I know it's, like, a synonymous name with bullshit now, but fucking, Fortnite, like, Apex Legends, like, stuff like that. Like, a bunch of other games, too, but those are, like, the big hitters and stuff like that. Battlefield as well. Like, watching all of those games kind of fall apart. I mean, I've been playing Apex a lot more recently. I don't know what state it's in. I'm having fun playing it. But obviously, BO7, like, I completely stopped playing multiplayer in Black Ops 6, just because of the matchmaking and just the overall shit of the entire thing. So I just play zombies now. And, obviously I know people have their stances on zombies, and I'm not going to get into that. But I have been enjoying zombies a lot more recently and everything like that. So from BO6 and BO7, I've been having a lot of fun with that. And, but like watching where Call of Duty is right now, like obviously the MW4 beta is out right now, like the early access beta. And like I watched like brief gameplay of somebody playing it and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm not buying this game. And I hate to say that, man, because I have bought every single Call of Duty, including Vanguard, like all the way up until this Modern Warfare 4. And I'm not buying that game after watching the gameplay because it literally looks the same. Like, there was something to be said about, like, MW 2019 to MW 2 was like, yeah, it kind of does look the same, but they did change some things around. They built off of what they made. And then MW 3 was just a fucking shit show. I didn't actually buy that game. I think it was on, like, Game Pass or something. So I decided to, just play it. But I barely even did it that, right? And then BO6 came out. BO6 is good, in my opinion. BO7 came out. Zombies is good. I literally have not touched multiplayer. I have not touched the campaign, and I have not touched endgame. So I don't know about those sides, but right now I'd say Zombies is pretty good. The most recent map came out. I've played it twice. I actually do plan on playing it a little bit more after I'm done recording this and edit this and get it up. But it's just like, when it came to MW4, watching it, I was like, dude, this literally looks like MW 2022. Like, this literally looks like MW2 2022. Like, yeah, the graphics are a little bit better, but that's it. It looks the same. And so, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying this COD, especially because it is, Modern Warfare, they do not, make zombies. And so since I'm kind of done with multiplayer games on the Call of Duty side of things, like, yeah, I'm not buying it. And I hate to say that, but at the same time, like, fuck Activision. They've been doing so much shit recently and fucking up the entire system and leading the industry with such terrible practices recently. So I don't really care that much on that front. But yeah, and then like I stated, like the PS5 store, there was like a video that I watched recently where it was like talking about like the like AI-ification of everything over there with like in regards to like all the games that are like showing up and stuff like that. Like I saw like some fucking tung tung so horseshit or whatever the fuck that is. Dude, like mind you, how old am I? I'm 20 years old, man. And I feel like I should be somewhat in the loop about that type of shit. Bro, what the fuck is tung tung sahur? I've heard my little brother say that shit. I don't even know what the fuck that is, man. And I'm not even old. I'm 20. I don't get it, man. That's a state of fucking society and social media as a whole, honestly, dude. I don't even know anymore, dude. And I'm 20 years old. I'm talking about it like I'm a fucking boomer or some shit. Oh my god. Anyway. Yeah, with that whole PlayStation 5 thing that's going on is like ridiculous, like with all the AI games and shit. And just like I said, I mean, the whole AI thing kind of ties into the state of the gaming industry in general. Like, it is so fucked right now, and like seeing the indie side of things get fucked by people using AI who have absolutely no passion for game development and are just doing it to try to make a quick buck is also so frustrating, man, coming from someone who has put over 200 hours into doing this. And that's not even including making videos and like all that type of shit like that. Like 200 hours, over 200 hours of just pure game development is so frustrating, and it's so saddening to see, man. And that's kind of one of the big reasons I also did take a break from everything, is that like, just watching it kind of just rot away and everything, and like seeing AI really become prominent in indie game development and people just trying to straight up cut corners and have no passion and no love behind anything that they're fucking doing, just kind of took the wind out of my sails, man. Because I'm like, why the fuck am I like putting hundreds of hours into doing this, and there's people just spending 5 hours typing in prompts to Chat GPT, telling it what it wants to add and what it wants it to fix and all that shit, and then just shitting it out on the fucking Steam development store, or not Steam development store, the Steam, Steam page or whatever the fuck it is, and fucking making money off of it. Not because the game is good, but just because some people are like, holy shit, this is so bad I have to play it, right? Like, why the fuck am I spending my time like actually putting passion into this and making YouTube videos about it and like all this different shit? Why am I doing that and these people aren't? And obviously, world's not fair, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna sit there and put myself in the kind of like psychosis of like the being like, oh, these people are doing this shit, and like I'm sitting here actually trying and all this, and like this fucking stuff, I'm not gonna sit there and do that to myself. So that's another big reason I did take a break from everything like that. But regardless, we're gonna start wrapping up here. I appreciate you coming around for the first episode of Coffee and Coding. I did actually have a lot of fun yapping and having a good time and stuff like that. It means a lot to me that you would even come out and sit through listening to an idiot with ADHD talk about whatever the fuck is basically on his mind in that direct moment. But as always, appreciate you coming out, spending a little bit of your time with me today. I do truly fucking appreciate it. Hope everybody out there stays as safe as possible. And don't forget, no matter what you're going through, there's always somebody who is out there willing to help. Hope y'all have a good one.